Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about leadership, but maybe not in the way you're used to thinking about it. We're going to look at leaders as creators, as the architects of real strategic change inside an organization. So let's jump right in.
So let's get right to it with the big one, the question that's been around forever. Are leaders born with it, or are they made? The answer to this actually has huge implications for how companies are built, and today we're going to see what the evidence really points to.
And you know what? This is the core idea for our whole explainer today. Leaders develop leaders. It's a simple phrase, but it's incredibly powerful. It kind of suggests that leadership isn't some fixed trait you either have or you don't. It's more like a dynamic, renewable resource. All right, first section, we're tackling that age-old question. But look, before we can even begin to answer if leaders are born or made, we've got to be on the same page about what a leader's fundamental role actually is.
And this isn't just some abstract philosophical question. The answer directly shapes how companies find their people, who gets promoted, and where they invest in their talent. Seriously, if you get this wrong, you're looking at stagnation. But if you get it right, whoa, you can unlock some incredible potential.
Okay, that brings us to our next section. Why does leadership even matter? What is it that makes a leader so indispensable? Let's break down their critical role. Okay, so take a look at this list. What's so interesting here is that these aren't just, management tasks. A leader gives the team a vision, the why behind the work. They're the ones steering the ship through really complex, choppy waters. They build a culture where people actually want to work and can do their best. And, this is the big one, they develop future talent. They're not just managers, they are the architects of the entire ecosystem. So let's really lean into that architect metaphor for a minute. A building doesn't just pop up out of nowhere, right? It all starts with a detailed blueprint. And for a leader, that blueprint is the strategy. This is where all the deep thinking, the heavy lifting really happens. And a really crucial idea here is the concept of strategic actions. These aren't just random things to do, no way. These are the intentional, deliberate choices a leader makes to get the team from where they are now to where they need to be. Every single action has a clear purpose. And this slide, wow, it perfectly breaks down the two sides of a leader's brain, so to speak. On one side, you've got the thinking part. That's strategy formulation. It's the deep analysis, creating the blueprint. But then, on the other side, you've got the doing, strategy implementation. That's the action, the execution, actually constructing the building. A truly great leader has to be a master of both. All right, section 4 is all about building strategic change. Because let's be real, a blueprint is totally useless if no one builds the thing. So now let's look at how a leader shifts from being the architect to being the master builder who actually implements the plan. So our source material actually lays out this really clear 4-step process. It all starts with step 1. Understand the fundamentals. You gotta assess the environment, know what resources you have. Then, step 2, formulate the strategy. This is where you design that blueprint for success. Step 3, implement the plan, go time, execute those strategic actions. And finally, and honestly this might be the most important one, step 4, lead the change. That means guiding the people through the entire transition. You can see how each one of these steps is a skill you have to learn. And this right here is just so important. We often mix up leadership with project management. But just managing tasks and hitting deadlines, that's only a tiny piece of the puzzle. Real leadership is all about communication, about empathy. It's about inspiring your team to navigate all the uncertainty and, let's be honest, the discomfort that always comes with making a big, meaningful change. Okay, so we've looked at what a leader does. We've broken down their process, and we've talked about the difference between the thinking and the doing. Now, it's time. Let's pull all these threads together and finally deliver the verdict on that question we asked at the very beginning.
So here we are, right back where we started. But now that we've looked at leadership as this whole process of analysis and strategy and, human guidance, what does all the evidence actually tell us?
Well, the answer is pretty clear, isn't it? They are developed. They are built. Think about it. The ability to properly assess a situation, to formulate a coherent strategy, and then guide people through putting it into action, these are not things you're just born with. These are complex skills. And just like any other craft, whether it's carpentry or coding, they have to be learned, practiced, and sharpened over time through real, deliberate effort. Leaders aren't born. They are built. And that brings us right back to that core idea from the beginning.
Leaders develop leaders. See, this isn't just a nice saying, it's a mission statement. The ultimate test of a great leader, the final proof that they are indeed made, is their ability to build the next generation. Their final masterpiece is creating new architects. So we'll leave you with this thought. If leadership is a skill that anyone can build, and if a leader's greatest project is to build up other people, then the only question left is what and who will you choose to build next?